this chase in this tunnel, right? As you guys can see, it's very dark in that tunnel. You can see that, right? When they enter the tunnel, it's at night. They just robbed this jewelry place and they're going into this tunnel while it's dark. I promise you guys, when they come out of the tunnel, it is light outside. I'm sitting there like, how fucking long is this tunnel? Yo, what's poppin', people? Copa Star Green back with you guys with another video. You guys first time finding my channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, this video really does help. Yes, happy 2025, y'all. Yes, this is my first movie review of the year. First of many, y'all. You already know, man. We're gonna get this year started off right. Now, today, I will be reviewing Den of Thieves 2. Yes, it's crazy because I just, for the first time, saw the first one maybe like 2 days ago. Like, it was crazy because I was watching it and I was like, why have I never seen Den of Thieves 1 before? I absolutely love the first movie. Now, the first movie does have its problems. I'll talk about the problems of the first one. But I was still so hyped to watch the second one. It was to the point where I watched the first one, I was like, oh, let me go book my ticket for the second one. You know what I'm saying? So did the second one live up to my expectations because I was hyped? Or is it just like a lot of sequels and it's just a big letdown? Well, you guys going to find out. Go ahead and cue that goddamn intro.
We got a problem. 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 It's probably you. Yeah. We got a problem. We got a problem. We got a problem. We got a problem.
So we're gonna talk about it, y'all. Bring my goddamn instrumental back. So yes, we're gonna talk about Den of Thieves. And like I said, a couple of days ago, I just watched the first one and I was like, wow, this movie does have its problems, just like a lot of other movies. But I'm like, I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, I'm loving this Gerard Butler performance. You got Ice Cube's son. I'm like, this is underrated. Like, the movie's not even that, it's not talked about enough, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? I guess you can compare this movie to like Heat, you know, the really good bank robbery movies. But this one, I feel like the first Den of Thieves just ain't talked about a lot. Like, you barely ever hear about it. You know what I'm saying? So when I watched it the other day, I was in love with the film. I was in love with it. I could not wait to sit down in the theater and watch the second one. Now, how did I feel? I'll tell you guys this, man. Going back to the first one, the ending of that movie for the first one, you guys know, if you guys kind of know how it ends, where it kind of sets up that little cliffhanger ending with O'Shea's character. It's like, okay, so it's gonna be pretty much what I thought would be Gerard Butler pretty much just tracking down O'Shea's character, you know, and his group, if you guys see right here. I'm like, this is a really good way. Now the twist's kind of stupid, but it's a really good way to end your movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, look, they literally in the end set up the sequel right there. And it was crazy. Then I saw the trailer for the new movie before I even saw the new movie, and I was like, hold on, Gerard Butler is working with them now? I'm like, no, don't do that. What we doing? I'm like, your movie was right there. And they went in a little completely different direction. Now, how did I feel about it? I will get to that. First thing, don't even expect to see these three in the movie or this whole group in the movie. No, they have moved on. They not in the movie. No, they nowhere near in the second one. They not in this. You know what I'm saying? O'Shea is doing his own thing with a whole new crew in this. And like I said from the trailer, Gerard Butler, well, if you guys didn't know, he pretty much got on hard times, you know, after that crime, or after him stopping the bank robbers in the first one. Pretty much his life went to hell. You know, he pretty much shoot money, done ran out, he broke, he living in his truck. You know what I'm saying? And he needs something to get back on his feet. And he's like, you know what? There's a bank robber that can put me back on the map. Let me go talk to him real quick. And that's pretty much this movie right here, with these two having to actually work together on a little heist. Now, this ain't no bank robbery heist. This is more like jewelry heist type stuff. You know what I'm saying? A little lower class, but still up there, if you know what I mean. You know, the jewelry's expensive too. But like I said, Gerard Butler in this one, he's down in this one. He's just like, yo, look, I've had it rough ever since my last case, the last big case, you know. So he's looking for a way to get back in, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, his role here is to just team up, because he's like, you know what, I'm broke. I know somebody that got some money. Let me work with him. Let me work with Osei's character. And that's pretty much how this movie goes. Now, this will be a full-on non-spoiler until I maybe get to the end, because I do want to talk about the ending. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The ending is kind of ridiculous, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I was so happy I was in the theater by myself, because the ending kind of had me bursting out laughing. But we'll talk about that in the dear time. But let's go ahead and get to this, man. How did I feel about this one? You know, this one's a little different from the first one. You know, just even tone-wise a little different. You watch it, it just kind of feels different than the first one. It's a sequel. You know, and it's not even just like a regular sequel. This is a sequel that not only in real life came out like way years later, you know, like 6, 7, 8 years later, I can't remember. But even in this world, it's years later. Same way, like you see both characters have freaking A's, you know what I'm saying? So both ways, everything is like, it just feels different. You watch it and you're like, oh, this really feels different watching this movie. Now, I'll tell you guys, the problems I had with the first movie is definitely still here in this movie. I'm gonna get that out the way first, and then I'll talk about some things that I liked. So, the biggest complaint I had with the first movie is that I felt like, look, it's just your standard, freaking bank robbery movie, right? So, you got your characters, and you got your bank robbery. You got your little bank robbery, then goes up to the big one. It's, you know, standard stuff, right? I'll say in the first movie, it does that, but I felt like, and I wasn't the one that said this, I looked at reviews afterwards, but I felt like it took too long to get to that point. The first movie's like 2 hours and something, and in this one, Den of Thieves 2, it's 2 hours and something. You know what I'm saying? And my biggest problem with the first one is like, yo, y'all could have cut like 30 minutes out of your movie, and it would have been a tighter script. I have the same exact problem with this one. This movie's like 2 hours and 20, and there was so many scenes where I was like, this could be cut, that could be cut, that could be cut, and your script would be so much tighter. But for some reason they don't do it, and it's weird, because I kind of see what they try to do. Like if you remember in the last movie, like the biggest scene in the movie, like out of context, you're like, oh, okay, that's an interesting scene. But when you're watching the movie, you're kind of like, why is this scene even here? And I'm talking about the scene with 50 Cent and that guy, and pretty much like, here, I'll put it on the screen right now so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But pretty much the guy, 50 Cent's daughter is taking this guy to prom, or he's taking her to prom. And, you know, 50 Cent just intervened like, yo, hey, man, you know, this, y'all remember, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to explain it. I know what I'm talking about. If you watch the movie, you're like I said, you're like, why is this here? But like, out of clip, you go on YouTube, this scene does numbers. It's one of the biggest scenes, like number wise, in on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's why they put those type of scenes in here. And like I said, this Den of Thieves 2 does the same exact stuff. I felt like there's some clips by themselves that work. You know what I'm saying? Like on their own, they'll work. Put them on YouTube as like extra footage. You know what I'm saying? Extra scenes. They'll work there. But when you put these scenes in your movie, they just get in the way. And like I said, this second one, they do the same thing again. I was like, yo, I'm getting bored watching this scene go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, same problem here. Another problem that the first one had that this one has. Now, I feel like they try to do a little bit better with it, but it still kind of falls flat. Your cast, you know, you got Gerard Butler, what is his name? Michael. I mean, Ice Cube's son. But y'all gonna hate me because I ain't gonna lie. I don't have the cast up right. Usually I have the cast, but I think I always call him O'Shea, but I always forget his son's name. But O'Shawn. O'Shea. Yeah, I think you're right. O'Shea. Yeah, O'Shea. So yeah, you have your cast, just like the first one. Kind of a big cast. Like O'Shea in this one has his crew. O'Shea Jackson. He has his crew, right? Like I said, in this one, in the first one, it was that way, and in this one, it's the same way. Now, the first one, like I said, the problem is you have too big of a cast, so you're not able to focus on or get to know any of these characters. So when they eventually die or whatever happens to them, you never feel anything. And it's crazy because this movie is over 2 hours. So it's like, how do we not focus on these characters more? Like I said, the big problem with the first one, you freaking got 50 Cent, right? If y'all have seen 50 Cent and freaking Power as Kanan, he's amazing as Kanan in 50 and Power. Y'all should watch it if y'all haven't. Go watch Power if you haven't. 50 Cent is amazing. But in like the first gen of Thieves, he's just kind of there. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with Den of Thieves 2. You have your cast of characters. He has O'Shea has his little crew, and you don't really care about them. I'm gonna be real. I mean, half the time he's speaking another language, but you don't really care about the crew. You don't get attached to the crew. Now, in this one, they try to give some of the crew members somewhat of a personality, so you can kind of get attached to them a little bit, but it don't work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you're not going to spend time on these secondary characters, then let's make the runtime a little bit shorter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying stuff that I be seeing. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you, Gerard Butler, O'Shea, I did like them in this movie. I've always said Gerard Butler is actually one of my favorite actors. And I've always said that he's a really great actor when he wants to be. Now, there's some stuff where he just like, look, I don't want to be a good actor. But in this one, I'll say he was fine. His performance was believable in this one. I'll say he to me he won me over. I was like, hey, he works. Your other big character, O'Shea, Ice Cube's son, I think he does fine in this one. They give him a little bit more to do in this movie. Like I said, this is when, remember how in the last one he was like in the shadows, like you didn't know he was leading until like the very end of the movie. It was the big plot twist. This one, it's just it's his crew. He's leading this one this time. You know what I'm saying? So I think he does fine in this role. Neither one of those two bothered me. They really have really great moments on scene together. There's a scene where they're in a puddle or in the ocean. They get thrown in the ocean, and I was like, for a heavy kind of action movie, heist movie, that little comedy kind of worked. You know what I'm saying? That was a little comedy sprinkled in there. I don't know if I can find it because I don't think it was in the trailer. But I thought O'Shea was fine in this one. I thought he did fine. Next thing I want to talk about is the heist. The heist itself. Now, look, I'll tell you guys, man. I thought the heist in the first one was really memorable. You know, you remember you have the little bank robbery to the big bank robbery. Remember that in the third act of the movie? So, and I really enjoyed that. That's when I was like, oh, let me sit up. You know, I was in bed. I was like, hold on, let me sit up here. You know what I'm saying? Let me get straight. In this one, they have a jewelry heist towards the third act, but it's not as memorable as in the first movie. You know what I'm saying? I will give it that. It tries to be memorable. Like it kind of turns into Mission Impossible at some point, because there's a point where they have to like make themselves invisible so security doesn't see them. And I was like, that's interesting. I was like, that's unique that y'all even try to do that. Y'all didn't even have to do that, but y'all did it anyway. And I was like, you know what? That's cool, but it's just not as memorable as that first one. Like, I still love that destroying the first bank and going into the tunnel and then going to the big bank that you really want to go to right afterwards. I adored that. I love that. This movie tries it. It don't get all the way there. And it's because, like, it's something else that happens in this movie. Like, it's not just Like in the first one, they were kind of just robbing banks. They were just like, yo, we rob it and we rob it. Now it's like, oh no, there's a reason why, and I don't want to get into it. It's spoiler because it's all spoilers and stuff. But I think that kind of gets in the way of the film a little bit, and it gets in the way of the ending too. And I'll tell you guys that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, the bank heists were memorable, but they were still cool scenes. Like they were still really, really cool scenes. The action here, I thought the action was shot well. You know, you don't have too many action scenes, but the ones you get, they're interesting. And I like them. Like I said, I like the way they were shot. It wasn't none too crazy, but it didn't get me bored. You know what I'm saying? The part that got me bored was the goddamn middle of the goddamn movie, y'all. I ain't going to lie to y'all, man. I forgot to bring that. I ain't put that in my notes, but I was then about to fall asleep in the middle of the movie, y'all. I'm like, why does it take so long for us to get to point A to point B, y'all? Like, come speed it up. But that's the clip I'm talking about, y'all. Could cut some scenes. That's where all that comes in. But yeah, I think the second act is probably the weakest of the film. The third act just gets ridiculous, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. In the third act, they just start Fast and Furious and shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry I just cussed, but in that third act, the movie just turns into Fast and Furious, y'all. Like, I just want y'all to see just for how crazy it gets, you know. And then the ending, of course, we're in Den of Thieves, so there's gonna have to be a plot twist. You know, there's a plot twist on this one. I don't know if it's even a plot twist, because it was something that I kind of saw out the gate, you know, like, but it doesn't reveal it to you until the very end. But it was something that you could kind of catch on to, you know. But the plot twist isn't as good as the first one, I'll tell you that. Like I said, I've seen it coming, but it's weird because it's a plot twist, and then there's another plot twist right after that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the big plot twist is like, oh no, and it's just like there's a smaller plot twist right after it, and you're like, so what was the point? What was the whole point of the first plot twist? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that ending left me a little baffled. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Cause like I said, I was sitting there, I was in theater completely by myself, and I was like, okay, the first plot twist, all right, whatever. I saw it coming, but then that second one, I'm like, what was the point of the first one? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how you guys feel about that. If you guys seen the movie, let me know how y'all feel about that plot twist. But I'll tell you guys, no, it's not as good as the first one, man. I mean, the acting is still the same, characters are still the same, performance-wise. You still have really good action scenes, but I felt like everything they did in the first one was just better and was more memorable. Like if I didn't write notes down, I probably would have forgot about 90% of the things that happened in this movie. You know, like I guess I was in a theater by myself, and I was sitting down dead ass, just like, if you guys can see it, I'm like, y'all can't even see it, but I was like writing notes down. Y'all can't see it, but I was dead ass like writing notes, so I wouldn't forget anything, you know. And that's not good, you know. Like I said, the first one, very memorable. This one is not. I felt like the pacing in this one is just so slow, y'all. But the first one pacing was slow, but it was to a big payoff. So I kind of understood it and forgave the first one, because I'm like, all right, y'all are doing it to get to this point. And the second one, they're doing it to get to this point, but it's just like, all right, whatever. The first one, they got some unbelievable BS that happens. You guys remember where O'Shea's character in the first one, like the whole bank robbery in the first one, where he's like, he's a delivery driver, and somehow it's the most secure bank in the world or whatever, but they let him go through instead of the people going to come pick up the food. You know, like how that would never happen, right? There's some stuff with him and some other characters you'll meet there. I don't think they're even in the trailer, but they do some unbelievable stuff too that you're like, yeah, that would never happen in real life. Like never. Like, so the unbelievable like BS is still in this one. But, and like when I say like unbelievable, like I gotta talk to music for this one, but there's a part where it's like this chase in this tunnel, right? As you guys can see, it's very dark in that tunnel. You can see that, right? When they enter the tunnel, it's at night. They just robbed this jewelry place and they're going into this tunnel while it's dark. I promise you guys, when they come out of the tunnel, it is light outside. I'm sitting there like, how fucking long is this tunnel? I'm like, this tunnel gotta be as long as the runway from the Fast and Furious movie. Was it 6? Yeah, 6. I'm like, there's no way they go into the tunnel when it's dark and they come out and it is bright light outside like 1 or 2 p.m. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So, yo, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I'm going to tell you guys about the ending just a little bit, as much as I can without spoiling it. But you guys remember in that first movie where it's kind of a cliffhanger ending to kind of set you up for the next one, the Thieves 2? Well, in this movie, I know the ending is kind of ridiculous, y'all. It goes fast and furious with that ending, but something happened. Not gonna spoil nothing, but pretty much kind of the same thing kind of happens here. And it kind of just sets up another sequel. Like it sets up a third movie. Now I wish I could spoil it, but I'm not spoiling it right now, y'all. Maybe I'll do another video. If y'all guys really want it, I will do another video spoiling the ending. But I thought that ending was freaking ridiculous, y'all. I was like, God damn, I know y'all want to make another sequel, but God damn, this is how we gonna do it, y'all. Oh, why we are at Fast and Furious now. We are here. We are at Fast and Furious, y'all. Pick your crew now. I'm not spoiling nothing, but just look at this ending and how it had a cliffhanger, and the new one or the second one does the same thing. It's another type of like cliffhanger, whatever you want to call it. It sets up another movie. It sets up a third movie, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to say. I'm not spoiling it because it's not a spoiler review. Like I said, I wasn't all the way mad at this one. Look, I love the first one. I'll just say I thought this one was fine, y'all. I thought it was fine. I don't know if you'll be mad watching this, or leaving this, and feeling like your time is wasted, because this is 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think around the same amount as the first one. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. I did have to pay money though. I ain't gonna lie. Usually I don't pay money for movies, but I did have to pay money, and I feel like my money was wasted. Maybe I don't know. Maybe maybe just because, and maybe because I was expecting more, just because how much I adored and loved the first one. But this one, like I said, I thought it was fine. I didn't come out hating it. I didn't come out throwing my popcorn, being like F this, F that, I ain't never doing that again. That BS. I just thought it was fun. You could wait for this to hit DVD, y'all. You could definitely wait for this to hit a rental. This is definitely one of them rental type movies. I was just seeing just because I review movies and because I was just so excited to see it. So if it wasn't for that, I would have waited for this for hit DVD. Which, knowing how DVD movies come out now, this will probably be on DVD in the next 3 goddamn weeks or something, maybe 2 weeks, who knows. But hey, look, I thought it was, like I said, big. At the end of the day, I thought it was fine. I'll give it 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. I think 6 out of 10 is the fair rating. I could see a lot of critics going like 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Look, like I said, I thought some parts were boring, but they didn't like knock me out the movie. You know, I was still excited to see what would happen next. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I gotta give the movie praise. Like I said, 6 out of 10, not bad. Could have definitely been better. I wish it was better, but it is what it is. If you guys seen the movie, you guys tell me you got thoughts down below. Look, y'all first time finding my channel, hit the subscribe button for your boy. Also like the video. Tell me you got thoughts, complaints, criticism, stuff down below. We will see you guys in the next one. Wait, if I do this, will I? Oh!